All right, you ready?
All right.
We'll take it from there.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Two Coaches, a podcast.
Two coaches.
Two coaches. Nice. Yeah. Again, flawless execution as always.
I'll remember that one for next time.
Yeah, that was good. How's it going, man? How you doing?
So great.
Awesome. Well, we have a really cool show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about cardio. We're going to be talking about all things cardio, what it is, why it's useful, and then one of the biggest questions we get, which is, do I need to do more cardio if I want to lose weight, if I want to lose fat? So we're going to tackle all that. So let's just jump right into it. So what is it? What's cardio?
What is it? I was just thinking too, like, trying to reference like any time I've talked about cardio in the gym or like for workouts, or when it comes to that question of like losing weight, losing fat, they're like, I'm doing my cardio.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe you're doing it wrong. What is it? What is it?
Well, so cardio in its most basic definition is just anything that you do to raise your heart rate. That's it. That's cardio. You could be running, be on the elliptical, be on the rower. It does not matter. If you're doing it and it raises your heart rate, then you're in cardio mode.
We went hiking this morning.
Yeah.
With my nephew. We went hiking this morning, and Bianca and I were walking. We went opposite of the way we normally go. So it's all uphill. And we're talking about him visiting and life, and we were both like, yeah. And it's just we're having a really good time. I was like, how high up are we?
Where is sea level? Good God.
And then like an hour, like it felt like an hour. It wasn't an hour, but it felt like an hour later, the phone was like, 1 mile completed. I was like, screw you. You don't even know. It was good. It was good. But
well, there you go. Well, that's cardio.
Cardio. I think too, one of the things I think that always gets like lost in translation when it comes to health and fitness, like today talking about just in general fitness, right, is like the main focus of the whole thing. But like cardio, it gets lost because there's so many variations, and then depending on where you're at in the scale, like even that's been changed for me over the years, because I used to see it very definite, very finite areas, like this is the cardio you can do or need to do or should be doing
based on like the goal,
based on the fitness level, the experience. But after all time, time and time again, I've realized like it doesn't really, for me, it doesn't really matter if I can get, myself included, but if I can get people moving, their heart rate up, and they're safe, and they're not jacking up the body, right? Cardio, whatever it is good.
Would you say that it's like an important piece of the fitness of the fitness puzzle?
Listening to all the different fitness channels, fitness podcasts, other people, other coaches throughout the time that we've known each other too. Like everybody has their, some people have very specific protocols. Like this is how I train my athletes, right?
Yes.
And like I know people here at the gym. I'm like, good job, blah blah blah, great job today, athletes. People are like, you just call me an athlete? I'm like,
I feel athletic.
But I mean, this is our team. This is some of their team. This is like team sports. Yeah. This is what they're doing. Yeah. This is their high school football. Like, and some people come in here and they're ready to kill it. But if they're not prepared appropriately, or they don't have the right mindset for the cardio that they need to be doing or what's good for their body, it's easy to overdo it.
Absolutely.
Or do it incorrectly, if you will. Like we were talking with Pete and Jen.
Yeah.
And coaches.
Pete and Jen are there's some trainers that work out of the gym here, and they are Ironman specialists. It's really, really, really cool. But you want to talk about some cardio intense, or rather really cardio focused style training. That's the epitome of it.
It's crazy too. Like my brother did a sprint try. I've been to sprint tries and like done the running portion with somebody, but like I've never done a full one on my own. Little mini ones, like made like, hey everybody, we're doing a triathlon this weekend, and you do like a mini one. But like their Ironman is like that's insane.
Yeah, that is. Just it's not on my list. It's nowhere near my list. No, I'm not gonna do an Ironman.
I guess it's different too, because like when people are like Spartan races, right?
Yeah.
People are like, you don't want to do a Spartan race? And I remember when I was like, I want to do a Spartan race. Yeah. And then going to name drop again, Power Park.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up, Power Park? How you doing, guys?
Like going to Power Park, hearing those guys' names, I was like, oh, I've seen them on the Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Like
you were on TV.
You were on the television. I know both of you. But like seeing that and that dude's dad like just jacked, ripping, finger gripping on little things and stuff.
Yeah.
But going out there a bunch and doing them on the weekend for funsies.
Yeah.
The whole course, like not that you were out. I was out there to win, but like just. The goal isn't to get around the obstacles and cheat and do what's easy. So you go out there and you kick butt and you're sore. Sometimes you come home, you're all jacked up for no reason. But that's a different mentality, right? But I can remember being in that mindset of like, oh, I want to do this so bad. So now people are like, I'm training for an Ironman.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
it is good for you.
It is really, really cool. But I mean, you don't have to go and do a freaking Ironman. Every single person can benefit from adding in some kind of cardio. It does good things so whenever you work on your cardio, what you're working on is your heart, your circulatory system, and then your lungs, your respiratory system. And if you tax that, if you move in a way and you push your body to increase your blood flow, to breathe harder, and you spend time there kind of suffering in that. Well, some people find it fun. I don't understand those people.
I love it. I do, man.
But yeah, you get crazy health
I'd rather
benefits.
run all day than do curls.
Really?
Yeah, or bench even.
I would say I'm the exact opposite.
A lot of people are. Not just guys either. Just in general, a lot of people that I know in the gym would rather be doing some lifting or some kind of circuit or some kind of like CrossFit style workout or whatever the heck.
I know how to run. I've been doing it for a long time. Probably since I was I don't know. How old are you when you learn how to run?
I was so young.
I don't know
what time. I don't know
right out of the womb.
I
You're
can
like,
remember.
I got this.
There's pictures of me playing soccer when like I'm too young to understand soccer.
Uh-huh.
I don't. So I was running then for sure.
Yeah. So
Like on a 3-year-old team where they're just like kicking each other a bunch of like in the shins and like, running around.
I definitely know how to run, but like I'll get out on the road and I don't know, for something simple like a mile run, and I'll be like, all right, here we go, and then I'll get like, I don't know, 800 meters down, and I'm like, I'm still doing this.
Yeah,
I'm still out here on the road.
So like when you do I just remember too. I got sidetracked. I just remember why we were talking about Pete and Jen.
Oh, sorry.
The triathlons. No, I was just thinking, like they were talking about very specific cardio. They were talking about because they do a lot of races and they have a lot of runners, and they track everybody. They know exactly where their heart rate's at all day long, even when they're not working out. They watch their trends, which is a big deal. Like if you're going to race and you're going to be good at something, and even then, even with all of the tools that they give them and stuff, and the advice and the guidelines, they still have people just kind of doing their own thing. And I have been guilty of that too. Like I'm going to get after it today because I'm feeling good,
right?
And I go for like a 6-mile run. And then I'm like limping around the rest of the week, like, that was so great. When I would have benefited more from slowing down.
So what do you mean? Because we have a lot of our athletes who it needs to be all out effort all the time.
Yeah.
How do they benefit from slowing down?
Like, it comes down to like, so when you're talking to people, they had sent me an article too. It was beautiful about pacing and like the physiological benefits of slower cardio, longer runs,
right?
Which is exactly what I do. Which is exactly what I do now. And then, if we have a class that's like 400-meter runs or like a 200-meter sprint, I'll still get after it. If the knees are jacked up or whatever that day, I'll hop on the rower or the bike and mix it up. But it was cool because I think when you're going through your education on your own of fitness and health, or you're going from the couch to being more fit and trying to change the body and stuff, it's so easy to get lost in it. So like the longer, slower cardio, right, you can benefit by keeping the body safe, not hurting the knees and stuff. And I was thinking about it when we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I've had a lot of clients in the beginning, in the beginning of me being a trainer, I would have been like, well, you got to get your cardio in. You got to get your cardio in. And then once you learn, the individualistic ideals for people and what they really are focused on, what gets them going. Like I've sent so many people on a walk, like as they're training for the day. I'm like, hey, don't forget Tuesday and Thursday, you have got to go for that walk. And they're like, you're right. I got it. Which, in some people's mind is like not a big deal.
I walk all the time.
And it really just, I think it comes down to different strokes for different folks. Like you have got to know what you're about. You can't just, and it lights a fire sometimes. You pick up that magazine or whatever. You're like, I'm going to do this. And then you're off, right? Then you're doing Ironmans. Like who's to say? You and I know we'll go cheer somebody on in an Ironman for sure.
Yeah. I'll be
follow them in a golf cart.
I'll be at the end. I'll be. Yeah, the
That's
beautiful.
my athlete.
I told them stuff.
You and I like on a tandem bike.
yeah.
We're like, you got it.
Bring, bring. Yeah, the wonderful thing about cardio is that everybody can do it no matter what level you're at, and that because cardio is just any activity that gets your heart rate up, there's an endless variety of what you could do. You could do high impact cardio like sprints and stairs and stuff like that, and you could do low impact cardio like walking or rowing or biking. All those things are really, really good.
We have a lot of members too here at the gym that are like that. We'll be texting back and forth, especially during all of the nonsense that's been going on lately. Locked in their houses and stuff. And then just catching up. Hey, how's it going? They're like, well, I did yard work today for like 4 hours. And I'm like, what time? Because it's hot.
It was
dude.
107 degrees yesterday.
So, and they don't, and even sometimes they don't appreciate the amount of work they're putting in.
Right.
Because you don't correlate that, or like maybe the trainer or the coach you had or whatever before, or the program or what you're able to do back in the day.
Right.
It doesn't correlate. So they're not like, now, dude. I'm not that old, but my body's pretty jacked. And I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna trim some trees and dig a couple holes and plant some flowers. And I'm like dead tired.
And that'll be enough.
Yeah.
Well, there's different types. There's different types of cardio, like you were talking about. So, me, for example, the way that we train, the way that we program, we have an hour window, right?
Yeah.
I like to lift heavy stuff, pick it up, and put it down, and then I will go and do a little bit of cardio during that hour to mix them up. I like to do them at the same time.
Yeah.
But my body is trained for that 60 minutes of work. We went on a bike ride the other day with Patrick. What's going on, Patrick? How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, dude. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's an absolute maniac. He's like the Terminator. Just doesn't stop.
But we went not yesterday, day before, Tuesday. When did we go? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Him and I went Tuesday by ourselves, just the two of us.
Yeah. Was it a magical time?
No, it was awful. I just kept staring at the back of his head like, I'm gonna kill you when we finish. But we both finished, and he was like, we could tell, like without saying it, we were both like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
We hadn't eaten. We both worked out in the morning. It was so hot.
You guys are maniacs.
It was fun until on the way back.
Yeah.
Like if we could teleport back to the cars, I probably would have.
Yeah. When on Saturday when you guys invited me out,
You did so good.
Thanks, man. I don't own a bike. I don't own a helmet or anything. But Michael and Patrick were like, "Hey, you should come out and ride with us." And so we went out for we were out there for like 3 hours. We probably rode for like a good 2.5, something like that, 2.5 and change. And then we ended up going 23 miles. And my body's not used to that. The cool thing about doing different types of cardio, though, is that even if you do the type of cardio that I do, which is at the very most, like maybe go run a mile.
Yeah.
At the very most, if you're consistent with your training, you'll find that your body will get you through it.
Yeah.
Right? It'll translate to other types of things. So when I was like, all right, body, we're going to go and be active for 3 hours straight, and we're going to go 23 miles on this bike, my body was like, dude, all right, let's do it. But when we got back, my hamstring was like, hey, remember I said I'd get you through it? Well, guess what now? I was like, yeah, and it cramped up like a vice.
I didn't realize.
Bit my leg back.
I didn't realize how bad it was until you explained that you were still cramping.
It came in waves.
Hours later,
It came
I
in-
was
it
like,
came in
oh, his
waves for
body
like
was
three-
not ready for that.
It was
at
not.
all.
It's not acclimated to it.
And I mean, I feel like I knew that too, but I was like, he'll be all right. He'll be
Well,
fine.
I'm alive. It's fine. But yeah, no. And all I had to eat that day. I'm so stupid. All I ate that day was a Powerade, a Bang,
Stop.
some gummy,
Don't even talk about it.
some gummy bears and some scotch. That's all I had that day.
You said, I got out. I remember getting out of the car. I said, hey, do you need more sunscreen? You were like, more than the none that I have on. I was like, what is wrong with you?
I don't spend time outside. I'm in here. This is what I do.
I think my exact words were like, my grandmother, God rest her soul, would beat you. It's like she would just, as she slapped you with sunscreen, be like, get at it. What's wrong with you?
Have just one handprint that's not burnt on me. I got a good tan too. I got all tan here.
A little toasty.
But it doesn't matter. You don't need to go. You don't need to go for a freaking three mile bike ride. Although Oh, sorry, not 3 mile, a 3 hour bike ride, and you don't need to work out for a consistent hour. It depends on the level that you're at. Depends on the goals that you have.
We were talking about staying focused, right?
Yeah.
On the other episodes, we were talking about staying focused, and we were talking about diets and stuff. But like really, and I think you and I hit on the same page more so now than we did in the past too. But we've always been on the same page. But I think now that we spend so much freaking time together all the time, like and it's hard because some people, you have to be able to catch it when they're talking to you about what they want. You can't just turn them away from that. If their motivation is to get after it and kill it, then you need to get a program together for that person to stay on that motivational path. And
Are you talking about
fuel
like,
that fire? Because I think when I say you and I are on the same page, I'm thinking like, whatever it is, I could go slow, I could go fast, I could lift heavy, I could not. And there's a lot to be said there, right? For some people, I know some of our members that I'm like, no, they're fit. I'm like, ooh, they're fast. And then, I'm like, here we go. Let's do it. And I'll smoke them a couple times. I'm like, done for the day.
Yeah. Man, I hope they're tired.
But like, and it really, like, you have to be able to listen to your body. But we were talking about all those different things in the other episodes, and the marginal things. If you can just, for the other people, right? For the other people where I have been myself, just no motivation. And then right there in the back of the head, it's like, you have got to get up from this couch. You have got to get, and sometimes I think we always put ourselves, and people put themselves in like specific spots. Like, oh, I am a fitness person. I am not a fitness person. I am a health guru person. I am not a healthy person. It's all nonsense. Like, you do whatever the heck you want. But I know like that it comes in waves, and sometimes it hits. You're sitting on the couch and your voice is, whether you're a fitness trainers do it, and you're like, crap, I need to get up.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to latch onto it, you got to reach out for help. But if you can get something and go, the marginalist, smallest of little things can make a huge impact.
Oh yeah. Well, it allows you to start, and that's the biggest obstacle for a lot of people, is just getting up and starting. And the beautiful thing about doing something like cardio, for example, is that everybody can do it. You can get up right now, if you've never worked out a day in your life, and go for a walk.
Yeah.
And if you go for a walk and you've never done it before, and it's kind of in the middle of the afternoon, and you go a good distance around the block, doesn't have to be something crazy, you'll get a good sweat going. Yeah. Especially here in Texas.
I think the difference too. So like cardio, what is it? It can be a number of things, right? Why is it important? For cardiovascular health is like one of the top things, right? Just keeping it moving, keeping your lungs in shape, making sure that you don't fall into that slump of like, oh, what's wrong with you? You're like, oh, you're stagnant, man. Your body is stagnant.
Your body
blood
wants
flows
to move.
Your oxygen, everything is off right now, and you're like, oh, that's why I feel so crappy, right?
Right.
Like we were talking about with the diets. Like if you're starving yourself and you're killing it, like great that the scale's going down, but your body is trash. It's just a mess.
It's gonna give out on you. Yeah.
But I think there's so much information, and that's what happens with cardio in specific. So much you Google something about cardio, you're gonna get, unless it's real specific, or you're looking up a specific video, or you're looking up a specific article, you're gonna get so much information. And if you have no idea what you're looking at, you could potentially hurt yourself. You could go down the wrong path. You could do too much. You could do not enough.
Yeah, like if you don't jog yet, right? If you're in a beginning stage where you're just like, okay, I want to where you should be walking, and you go out and you try to run wind sprints, you're gonna have a really bad time, if not get injured.
Have you ever taken like a long period of time off?
Yes.
And then you get back, you're like, I mean, it's like the bike. That was different. We were having fun. It was a great time. It was more so us hanging out.
Right.
Doing something physical.
Yeah.
And it was,
for you guys, for me, I was like, if I lose track of these guys, I will die out here.
That's why we put you in the middle.
And I appreciate that.
But I've been training for several years now, and it's not going to change anytime soon, but I have had low points. Yeah. Where I was on the couch for too long, still training classes, still writing programs, eating okay, but you start to your physical, all those things that you've worked on start to diminish a little bit, and you're not even realizing. You come in, throw up some weight, you can go for a mile run, you can do your thing, and then you pick it back up and you go for it. If you're not mindful enough to slow down and get things going, you're gonna either gas out, burn out, you're gonna demotivate yourself.
Yes, and that's the biggest problem with the mental side of this of somebody who's trying to improve their cardio overall is if you try to do too much too soon, then all you're going to get is discouraged. We have there was a member I had a while back who they just wanted to get after it so bad, and they were highly motivated, very determined, and they would just go out and they would just balls to the walls, just rip it, man. And every single workout, they'd end up puking. Every single one, yeah. And it was like, man, you have to. What you're doing right now is not sustainable. You're getting discouraged because you're like, man, why am I puking all the time?
Yeah.
Quit running so damn fast.
Yeah.
Quit. Whenever you're on your fitness journey, you have to remember that it's a lifelong journey, and there is no need to try to squeeze more out of your body than it's ready to give.
Yeah.
You want to push yourself just beyond that limit, just to the point where you're like, wow, I'm uncomfortable. And then you back off.
Have you ever been from a training standpoint? Have you ever been in a slump?
Oh,
where,
yeah.
Where you're just like you're cookie cuttering things for people.
Yes.
And I haven't done it for a long period of time.
It's been a while,
but it was enough time for me to know, like the same thing, voice in your head being like, "Is that the workout you're going to use again?" I'm like, that feeling is not good. But if you just stop for a tiny bit, and I'm talking about the individual, not the trainer side, but the individual, like. Put some thought into it about what it is that you're trying to do. And I think one of the big questions is like you said before, like, is cardio going to help me lose fat? What cardio helps me lose the most fat? Right? You're like,
yes.
You're like, well, let's talk about it. Right?
This is a huge freaking pet peeve of mine. When people ask me like, hey, what cardio can I do to lose the fat around my belly? It's like, all right, so let's unpack that question. Yeah. First up, there is no such thing as losing fat around your belly or your quads or any specific part of your body. There's no such thing as spot reduction. That's just the way that you lose weight. The areas that you lose weight in first is 100% determined by your genetics and if you're in a caloric deficit. If you're in a caloric deficit, the fat will start to come off, but it's going to come off wherever your body decides it's going to come off first. And no amount of cardio is going to make you lose fat. Because cardio doesn't make you lose fat.
Cardio burns calories.
Correct. Yeah, and it's a big misconception when somebody's trying to lose weight for whatever reason, whether it's aesthetics or for health, that they're just like, oh, I just need to go do more cardio. Yes, cardio is a really, really good tool for that because it does burn more calories, and if you burn more calories, you can make a better deficit. Yeah. But the problem is that that's all they do. Mm-hmm. Or so the example I like to use is let's say we have a guy who's 250 pounds.
250.
Right, and he's never done a workout in his life. He's straight what we call off the couch. And if he goes and gets up and goes for a walk for I think it's 45 minutes. If he does 45-minute walk at about a 3-mile-per-hour pace, he's going to burn about 300 calories. Right? That's the calories you would take in if you ate like a regular glazed donut. So
I say, but I haven't had a donut in a long time.
Don't donuts kill you?
In my mind, I was like, I'm not even joking. I was thinking about when I said it burns calories. I was thinking about like calories, and then donuts came to mind, and then I can't even eat donuts.
Donuts are always my go-to. That's why I always remember that they're 300 calories.
Mine's candy, I think.
Yeah. So if Jim goes out,
does the walk,
and he burns 300 calories, then if he does nothing else, if he changes nothing with his nutrition, then he will be in a caloric deficit, also assuming that he was maintaining that 250 for a while. He was kind of at an equilibrium. If he does a dip of 300, then that dude's going to lose some fat because he's in a deficit for a little while.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna taper off. Into what we call a plateau. So he'll start to lose, then his body will adjust because your body adapts to everything. The technical term is his BMR. Basal metabolic rate is going to lower, so he's not going to burn as much, and he's going to plateau out, just like that. And then typically what we'll see is people get frustrated at that point. They're like, "Well, I'm still doing my walk. Why am I not continuing to lose?" And so then they give up, and then they stop the walk, and then they gain the weight back even faster, and maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's great. it's in that moment that it's a good idea to go and talk to a coach because you can change the cardio that you're doing. You can change the intensity, the volume, the duration, all that stuff.
And you know what, too? I think like the conversations, right? Like getting people to do cardio as a workout regimen, like when you're working for a big gym or whatever, and you have these protocols that you're supposed to follow when it comes to training people. Like, bottom line, it's variable, it's individualistic, and you have to be on the same page, whether you're with a coach or not. If you're with yourself and you're YouTubing it, Googling things, you have got to be on the right page with yourself. You cannot see these images, see these workouts, and be like, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe you will. Maybe you will soon. Maybe you will quicker than others. Maybe you'll take you longer. It doesn't matter. But like, if you can just figure out what that thing is and get started, the cardio is not that difficult. It's super simple. And then you can start doing your walks. And Jim's tracking his walks. He's like, dang, 2 weeks ago, I could barely finish that thing. Now I'm going 3 rounds around this block or whatever, right? Now he's starting to jog a little bit, right? So you can start doing different things. You can intensify. You can go find a hill. And then when you start talking to people, you start talking to a coach, you tweak some little things there. All of a sudden he starts cutting weight again. You fix the food, all this stuff, whatever. But it doesn't always have to be. And that's what I think is so weird about health and fitness and like the industry and the fitness, the realm that we live in daily. I think I've been lost in it myself as a trainer and as an athlete. And you can get lost so quickly just like trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh yeah. Well, there's so many different options, and there's so many different methodologies out there, training methods out there.
People think cardio and they're like, oh, I don't like to run. I'm like, nah, man.
Dude, there's all kinds of cardio you can do. And finding so when it comes to cardio, specifically for like fat loss, right? Let's say your goal is you want to lose as much fat as possible. Cardio is a great tool. You got to do a couple things for it to work, though. First thing you got to do is find a cardio that you like. If you do not like to run, like me, then having a running regimen or a program where you do a ton of running is not going to work for you, because you're going to hate it. You're going to be miserable the entire time.
You might have
a lot of different types that you could do otherwise.
You might have to save and to each their own. I'm all about like, if it's uncomfortable, you better just do it, right? And I don't preach that onto people, but that's how I think.
Well, I like the bike. I like the assault bike.
I think a lot of people
it's uncomfortable.
What they do is they try to associate. You either try to associate too smoothly with what you're able or want to do, and then like what you're unable to do and can't do, and you're lost in the middle. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to. If the couch is more comfortable than walking around the block, for sure. I get it. But internally, the way you feel when you're sitting there, if you have a desire to get up and move, it doesn't take much to figure out which cardio is going to be good for you. The couch is not it. That's not playing video games is not going to be the one that gets you moving.
Right.
Your heart rate might go up a little bit.
Yeah, not the same as cardio.
Yeah.
It's a sustained activity. So if you're trying to lose fat, then you got to go out and find a version of cardio that you are going to enjoy, that you're going to like. I know a lot of people really, really like doing the Stairmaster, because they could just get up there and just be like bam, 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 crushing some stairs for 20 minutes, and it works other muscles in the body. But go out and try a couple. Don't let your first pick be the one you stick with, because there's a lot of different types out there.
Yesterday we had running. We had running in our workout, right?
Yeah.
We had some people come in different classes who hadn't been here in a while.
Okay.
And they came in and they had their protective stuff on, and they were doing, and they got ready. Like, they were just, you could tell they were ready to get after something today, right? First run goes by, second round goes by. Their eyes change. They're like, I can't do this. This was a bad idea. And it was really hot.
Yeah.
And both times to the same people, I was like, get up. I got them up. I was like, march in place. And they were marching in place, you know? And it's not that they wouldn't have thought about that eventually, but it's in their mind. They're like, I have to run. I came in here to get after it. And then I had them marching in place, and then the clock's going by, and I was like, nope, keep moving. They were like, like, you know, like, it doesn't, I think if you can just do at first the bare minimum, start implementing some marginal changes to that routine that you're trying to build or whatever it is, it's a lot easier than you think. And over time, you'll appreciate the benefits of it more and more. In the beginning, of course, not like, from nothing to something, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah. Well, and also let yourself fall in love with the process a little bit. When you see that you're all of a sudden able to walk 3 times around the block instead of one time around the block, that does something. That feeling of accomplishment is huge, and celebrate that win. It doesn't matter that Pete and Jan can go and do an Ironman right now. That's not the point, because that's
And they would tell you the
that's
same
their-
thing.
They do.
It's crazy. Like I was thinking about this today when we were doing our hike. Like I was gonna post something. I'm always on Snapchat, but I was gonna post something, and I was just thinking about body love,
Body love.
which made me think about Body Glove.
What
The brand? It's a brand.
Okay.
Not important.
Okay.
But Body Love, like going through these processes, whether it's health, whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness, focus. What's the other one?
Food, fitness, focus.
I always forget about food.
We did a whole episode on food.
Man. I've been doing good though. I haven't been skipping meals or anything. That's my biggest downfall. Is
Yeah.
skipping meals. And then you have people that are like, "Oh, trust me, I eat a lot." And I'm like, "No, the
Not
two
the same.
donuts, the 2 donuts and the 4 coffees was not breakfast."
Yeah.
And then, 5 hours later they had like, a salad from Chick-fil-A or whatever. I'm like, "Nah, man, that
Yeah.
doesn't count." But like whatever pillar you're focused on, or you're trying to do fitness or food or whatever thing you're trying to utilize out of your toolbox as you're filling it up, I think the big part of it is coming to terms with that body love and being able to appreciate that you can walk 3 blocks now, and whatever the heck you need to associate it to, whether it's your kids, your significant other, your damn self, your dogs. I don't care. Your faith, whatever it is that gets just turns that cog just a little bit in the right direction. You know where it is, because I know plenty of times where I'm like right there, and I'm just not right today. And it's not because I can't. It's not because I haven't before. It's just because I know what happens when you turn it.
Right.
And when you turn it and it starts to roll and things start to crank, and then people are like, "Whoa, man, you're doing great." You're like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Like it feels good to move and to do things.
A lot of times people are more afraid of the success of it all. And
Yeah. Or they don't see them. They're like, "I can't do that."
Yeah.
So, and they know they're able. They know eventually they'll be there, but all this crap in between is going to be so tough. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. So they never start.
Yeah, what's easy? It's easier to just put it off. I'll definitely start on Monday.
That's what I was thinking about during our hike. I was step after step.
Yeah.
I kid you not, super like out of body. I was thinking like what it must be like. And I know people close to me that have gone through stuff like this, but where at some point they must have had that moment where that momentary thing where they were going to flip that switch, or maybe they had it on and they turned it off later. And then they never did again. And then they're going through life, and then they're passing away, for whatever reason, they're leaving the world. I'm thinking like there must be a moment in there when it has to click, when they're like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like I should have had more body love. Like I should have just appreciated myself more, or like whatever the hell it is.
Right.
And that's super sad and like somber to think about.
Well, but it really touches on the whole point of it all. Like why go take care of yourself? Why love your body?
What cardio is going to help me lose belly fat? And I'm like, what are we talking about for real?
Yeah.
Like why? And then you and sometimes too in those conversations, like you start digging in and you have to take a step back, because you're like, this person's not ready for that serious.
Yeah.
They just need here's this program, boom, and maybe in 6 weeks they'll be ready to like actually get after a life and do some things to make it different.
Yeah. Well, it all gets back down to making that healthy lifestyle, and whenever you're picking your goal, like whatever it is, whether you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, stay the same, doesn't matter. You got to remember that there's more than one variable. Like if you are trying to lose fat, for example, this is the example I always use, because that's 90% of the people that come through our gym. That's what they're after. But if you're trying to lose fat, for example, then doing cardio is a fantastic tool. But if you don't also couple that with a really solid nutrition plan, if Jim, our boy walking down the road, does his 45 minutes and he's like, I did real good today. You know what? I deserve a couple donuts. You just undid all the extra calories you just burned. So you have to hit it from all different fronts, and you have to hit it from all different sides. Don't just rely on one thing. But
the
in terms
pieces,
of benefits, it's worth it.
The pieces will come together.
Yes.
The more you push in that direction, the pieces will come together. Yeah. And you'll hit a snag, you'll hit a wall. We all do, and that's when you don't give up, don't stagnate, just figure it out. Yeah. I can remember my dad telling my mom, like, no, for real, just whatever you want, type it in there, and my mom was like, when Google started.
Oh, I was like,
I can remember, and I was young, dude. I can remember her being like, "Shut up, for real!" Like, click, 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 click. She was like, "Dogs flying," like something silly.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can remember that nowadays, dude. Like, whatever the heck you
Yeah.
want to know. Now, if you really want to get some accountability, some regiment, obviously you want to take that next step. But
Yes.
you can do it. You can. The pieces will come together for sure.
And if you have already taken a couple of steps, all you beautiful people out there listening, if you've already taken a couple of steps and you find that you want to stop, or you're stagnant, or you have already hit that plateau, you're like, dude, I'm doing my hour of walking every day and nothing is changing in my body anymore.
Yeah.
Reach out to other people who have gone down the road a little bit further than you before. If you surround yourself with like-minded people who are trying to get better, who are trying to hit new goals and get off these plateaus that you're currently on, then you will find a brand new support system to get you where you want to go, and it'll see you through. You
Well,
are the company you keep.
I was laughing because I was thinking, like, in my head, I was like, stop looking on Facebook
Yeah.
and looking at that person who's just getting after it, killing it, and being like, well, screw them.
Yeah.
They suck.
Well,
I don't even like them anyway.
Yeah, they have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, they have. Well, yeah, they don't. You know, They have only 4 kids. I have 5 kids.
Yeah. Whenever I see somebody power clean, like, I don't know, whatever, 405 pounds, I'm like, well, that's just because they're short. That's all that is.
I'm like,
If-
I just think I'm like, nah, that's heavy.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? When am I gonna do that?
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, if you have any questions about cardio, about how to get yourself to the next level, reach out to Coach Michael or myself. We got tons of tools, tons of tools that we can give you. And if you like this podcast, if you like this episode, then search us out on your favorite
To 2 coaches.
Two Coaches. It's Two Coaches podcast. Search us out on your favorite podcasting platform. Your favorite podcasting platform.
Streaming service.
Yeah, your streaming service of choice. Find us and rate us. Give us a comment or review.
We were talking about that review, right? It's almost you don't know anything better, but you're like, smash that like button.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe. It's all YouTube stuff. But I think overall, like, I want to know too. I want to know, like, what do you guys want to hear? What do you guys
Yes.
like about us? If you don't like something about it, just, shove off or whatever. But but if there's something you like or you want to hear, you'd like to hear us babble on about, like, let us know for sure.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool, man. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you next week. Next week we're going to be what are we talking about next week? I forgot. Do you remember? Mm-mm. All right. We'll see you next week.
It's going to be food, fitness, or focus.
Yeah. Take your pick. Oh, no. It was focus.
It was focus. We're coming back around to focus.
Yeah. So we got an episode on focus next week, and it's going to be all about, can you train focus?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember looking that up now. I was like, dude, why are you asking me? I don't know. I don't know. I was there. I was right there next to you. I was like, that's a great one. Because
Awesome.
we were pushing ideas. I remember. Yeah, that's a great one.
Cool.
Can you focus your no? Can you train your focus?
Can you train your focus?
Can you focus your training? Hope so.
Absolutely. You freaking better be able to. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.